Welcome to part 2 of my DOSBox tutorial. I'm going to show you how to optimize your display settings to get the best image. Stunt Island runs in 320 by 200 VGA mode, like many games of that era. Viewing on a widescreen display with much higher resolution presents some challenges. My default installation shows an image that is too wide and looks pretty blurry. I'll show you how to fix that. First, make sure that you have the latest DOSBox installed. When you search for DOSBox on your system, you'll see the DOSBox options link. Don't use the DOSBox configuration, that's just connected to the good old games installation. The options link brings you to this configuration text file. Now every system will be a little different, so I'll show you what works for me and you can do some experimenting. If you want to start the game in full screen mode, change this option to true. I prefer to start in desktop mode and switch to full screen when I want to, so I'll set it to false. You want to change the full resolution line to either the word desktop or your screen resolution. This ensures that full screen mode is using the correct resolution and the image doesn't look blurry. So I'm putting in 1920 by 1080, which is my resolution. You can leave the window resolution to default, but I like to set it to something like 1280 by 800. So you get a large image on the desktop instead of a tiny window. Finally, make sure the output is changed to something besides surface. I find that direct draw or D-draw has worked well for me. If you don't change this, your image won't resize correctly. Moving on to the render section. This is somewhat a matter of preference, but I recommend setting this aspect to true, which gives the game a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of 16:10. Now the game won't fill up as much of the screen, but the picture will be closer to the original gaming experience. The reason is that 320 by 200 mode on original hardware used non-square pixels. When you map those pixels directly on a modern system, the image is distorted and everything is flattened. I'll link to a great video about this. I like to change the scaler to normal 3x. This enlarges the image while still making the pixels look crisp without blurriness. You can experiment with scalers like HQ3X, which makes the image less pixelated but looks a little too cartoonish for my tastes.
Okay, Ace. Congratulations, you made it to the show.
In the last video I talked about changing cycles to increase the frame rate. You can set that here so that you don't have to do it every time. I find that 15 to 20,000 works well. Okay. Now you can save this file and start up DOSBox. You'll see that the window takes up a good portion of the screen now. Let me mount the drive and start up Stunt Island.
Hold, we're not ready for you.
Switching to full screen mode, you can see that it fills up the screen vertically now. The aspect ratio is correct and pixels are nice and crisp. On my system at least, this is a big improvement. Watch for the next video where I talk about how to patch Stunt Island and set the in-game configuration options. And be sure to look at my website, Stunt Island Central, with downloads, films, and the online version of this video series with DOSBox tips. See you next time.